Are you pro-life? Did you know that the normal daily birth control pill isn't pro-life? If you don't know who I am, I'm Joseph Walter and I do the content for Loving Theology, and I wanted to give you a quick download on some content that we just put out that we're calling the Pro-Life Guide to Family Planning. And probably the most important point in that guide is this, that the birth control pill isn't pro-life. Now I think probably most pro-life Christians know that the morning after pill or the Plan B pill isn't pro-life. They know that that pill prevents the implantation of a conceived child. That if a child's conceived, that morning after pill alters the lining of the uterus so that that child isn't able to implant inside the womb. But what most people don't know is that the medications, the hormones that are behind, that operate in the Plan B pill are the exact same medications that are in the normal daily birth control pill that you take. What's more is that all hormonal birth control, whether it's the pill, the patch, the ring, the IUD, all of them operate with these same medications behind them. And here's why that matters, is that because they have the same medications, they function on the exact same mechanisms of action. There are 3 mechanisms of action that they function on, and one of them is this, that they prevent the implantation of a conceived child. That once a child is conceived, these medications alter the lining of the uterus, alter the womb, so that that child isn't able to implant inside the womb. Now I think that there's really 3 questions that come from that. The first is whether or not this is real. Is this real, or is this something that's theoretical? What do the studies say? The studies consistently demonstrate that the average thickness of the lining of the uterus for a woman who's on the pill is just 1.1 millimeters. And that is far below the 5 millimeters that's necessary to sustain a healthy implantation and pregnancy. And then the second question that comes to mind is it rare? Does this actually happen, and how often does it happen? And there's a statistic that comes up over and over again throughout studies that demonstrates the way and how much the pill affects implantation. How much does it change the chances of implantation? And here's what that statistic demonstrates, is that once conception happens while on the pill, which we know happens, once conception occurs, then the chances that that child is able to implant inside the womb are half of what they would be because of the effects of the pill. That the pill prevents half of the implantations inside the womb because of the way that it functions. And that leaves us with maybe the third question, is this important? Does this matter? For every 100 women who are on the pill, 9 will lose a child to the effects of the pill every single year. Because there are 11 million women on the pill in the US alone, that means that 1 million children are lost to the effects of the pill every single year. At the end of the day, what this means is that the pill isn't pro-life. That for a pro-life Christian, birth control, the hormonal birth control methods are not an option for family planning. But the good news is that there are other options that are pro-life. And I also realize that everything that I've given you here is maybe a little bit overwhelming. I think that probably most of us didn't know this. My wife and I didn't know this whenever we got married. That's why we wanted to share it with you, is because we wish that somebody had told us. But I'm sure this leaves you with a lot of questions. And understandably, some of you probably want me to prove this, want me to show you the studies. The reality is that years of research for this went into this for me. I've spent years researching all of the studies that help to demonstrate the point that I'm making. I've got all of that research on our website, which is lovingtheology.com. And we've also done a video with my wife and I where we talk through this evidence together and I walk you through it. If you have any questions, feel free to message us or email us at lovingtheology@gmail.com. I hope that this was helpful to you, and thank you for joining us.